listening to The Trade Gods.
Coach and Chev, we are the Trade Gods. We are IR hunting. We're trying to get good deals for you down the stretch or into next year. Let's start off, Chev, with Joe Burrow. We get good news about Joe Burrow. He's going to return. The IR window, 21 days, is going to start up. We're hearing a little bit optimism from Burrow about Thanksgiving, and then we're saying, hey, pump the brakes. Maybe it's week 14. Let's just remind the viewers all of what Joe Burrow can do. We look at his stats from last year. We go into the 2024 season, all ones across the board: passing yards, air yards, money throws, pressure throws. Go on playerprofiler.com. Go to his stats, see Joe Burrow, what he did last year. Red zone attempts, number one. Pass attempts, number one. Now, Jamar Chase may not get 25 targets, but for some reason, I got a feeling that everything is still going to lock into place. We have some deals up here, Chev, Joe Burrow for Rico Dowdle and Trey McBride in the Superflex League. Want your thoughts on Joe Burrow, and we can talk about some of these trades.
Man, this is, the quarterback elite of the elite. I mean, obviously he's not going to be in the same ilk as a Josh Allen, or I'd probably even put Drake May ahead of him now. But just what Burrow can offer you on a year in, year out basis. You turn the book, you turn the page and look at what he did when they went to the Super Bowl. You look at what he did last year, and whenever he's healthy, he's kind of like the Dak Prescott, the Dak Prescott every other year paradox, because something's going to happen, something weird's going to happen. A lot of times it's the Septingle. This time the Septingle took Burrow away from us early, but it looks like we'll get him back. The beautiful thing here is there is a price for a guy like this, because once the first 3 touchdown, 275-yard performance where he's Joe Cool again, the price of the brick is going to be going up, and it's going to be almost unattainable. So yeah, I would pay just about whatever it takes to get him on my team. I mean, the interesting one here to me is you go up to that top right where it's Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, a round 3 and a round 4. What I see there is someone who understands what Joe Burrow is and understands that you can infinitely profit. Like, these are the types of transactions that turn dynasty teams. You increase the value of your portfolio so much. So yeah, you're moving off Daniel Jones, who's now a reliable, probably top 14, 15 dynasty quarterback. I don't have the player profiler rankings ahead of me, but I mean, in front of me, but
he's in there.
Yeah. Like, Joe Burrow is top 5. Like, that's what we're looking at. So I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about it for sure.
Well, to your point on that, in this trade that you highlighted, that differentiator where it's Daniel Jones, it's Trevor Lawrence. What's Trevor Lawrence right now? Is he just like, AI slop, Chev?
Right.
We just can't have any AI slop. But Daniel Jones is the prime. Let's put feet in shoes of this dynasty manager. They probably have Daniel Jones. They had him holding the bag, or they had him acquired cheaply before this large ascendance. So right now, this is kind of like that cash out. The 26, 3, and 4, irrelevant. When you're talking brass tacks, I even crossed out Trevor Lawrence's name because I don't see how any value added is there. Truck trailer, he's lucky, Trevor Lawrence, to even be the trailer sometimes. It's awful. Daniel Jones, though, for Joe Burrow, 1-for-1 in a vacuum. You would take Joe Burrow easily, as much as we love the ascendance of Daniel Jones. So now think too, if you're acquiring Joe Burrow, maybe you have Chase, you have Higgins, or you have Chase Brown, you have some amalgamation of the Cincinnati Bengals. You love that, right? That is not AI slop. That is amalgamation. Is just a prime word. We love to see it. So I'm very much with you, Chev. Go out, IR hunting for Joe Burrow. And I think there's a degree of people who won't necessarily hold steady on Joe Burrow. They're sitting there thinking, you know what? He's been hurt so much based on expectation career-wise, to where maybe they're thinking, you know what, risk-wise, if I'm a middling team, if I'm rebuilding, they may want to get out of the Joe Burrow business. You might want to get more than Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. But I can see a little bit of the strategy of, hey, I come away with 2 starting quarterbacks. I see the rationale for the side acquiring Jones and Lawrence, but to me, you have to pay up more on the pick side to balance it out. So go get Joe Burrow.
One thing that I did want to say before we move on here is we can't live in our fears of the Andrew Luck injury paradox with Joe Burrow. These are all really freaky injuries. It seems like he's the type of psychopath that's just like, oh, you've decided to give me an obstacle, I will overcome this. Like,
Yes.
Andrew Luck is truly like a genius that was like, hey, I'm going to ruin myself if I keep playing football. Joe Burrow is a football genius that does not care about anything besides chucking bombs. Okay. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Joe Burrow there.
Hey, and also no equivocations. Joe Burrow on that Netflix show, he likes to dress very well. That the price of all those clothes that he's going to wear, he's going to want to keep his career going. So he's going to keep it moving. We love Joe Burrow on the show. We are IR hunting Omarion Hampton. Okay, Omarion Hampton. Hopefully he'll be back around week 13, week 14. Seems like there's caution, abundance of caution for the Chargers. They're a winning team. There's a long haul. You get back week 13, week 14, and you push through. It's not just to week 18, it's the near month of all the games, be it there could be a bye out there, but you are playing through to February. Weeks 3 versus Denver, RB4 was Omarion Hampton, 24.9 points. Week 4 against the Giants, 27.5. So a finish of RB4, RB7. We were getting that launching point, and it was cruel because as the arrow was up, we had this injury. Omarion Hampton, you want to go out and get him. We got some trades up here. Omarion Hampton 2 days ago for Luke McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. Some mash for Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton, Jose Flowers in a 26-2 in a superflex 12-team start 9 full PPR 0.75 tight end premium. Give me Omarion Hampton
Easily.
all day. Yeah, Chev, tell us, break it down. Why should people still, even though it's up against that playoff window, why should you let go of that fear in Dynasty and even in your managed leagues for Omarion Hampton?
Why exactly? It's the same thing that I said about Rashee Rice when he got injured and he got suspended. Like, when you see a guy being good at football,
Yep.
like, we take these temporary setbacks. Like, this isn't this sort of nebulous, unclear injury where we're not sure. It's not Joe Mixon where we don't know what's going on. It's a high ankle sprain. And he's a 21 or 22-year-old running back with first round draft capital. So he's firmly in the team's plans. And we're buying low because the production now is good. We've seen top 5 finishes, top 10 finishes. You've seen the juice, you've seen the physicality. You've heard the vets on the team talk about how he's a tone setter, right? And we're talking about his long-term prognosis because of a high ankle sprain that they're being cautious with. So if I could get into the Omarion Hampton business for Zay Flowers and a 26-2, I'm doing that. If I can get Omarion Hampton and Josh Jacobs by shipping out Justin Fields and 2 first-round picks, I'm doing that. I'm assuming that this is a contender. If I could get Drake London and Omarion Hampton for Malik Nabers in a 2026 round 1, I'm doing that. So what I'm saying is Omarion Hampton by this time next year is probably going to be a bona fide cornerstone running back dynasty asset. He's going to have most likely, points per game wise, he'll be on par with a guy like Ashton Genty this year when he comes back. And we're able to get him at these discounted, repressed prices where he checks off all these boxes. Do you have an elite offensive environment? Do you have a really good play caller? Do you have the draft capital? We're looking at all these things and you're like, well, what is there not to like? I don't understand. So, I mean, I would be curious to see. I think we're in lockstep on this one, but I really want to know what you think.
Oh, I'm all about it, especially once a player has shown what they are. You got to believe them. You got to trust them. We're just at the inconvenience stage of not having Omarion Hampton and a little bit of that discomfort of, oh no, it's going to be coming up close to the playoffs. When Omarion Hampton is back, I expect that usage to be there. Now, be it if it's Kamani Vidal, whoever is in that backfield sharing, because God knows health can waver any moment. But week to week, even if Omarion Hampton has taken off just a little bit of the bell cow usage that he was ramping up to get, we get the goal line, we get the PPR usage, and just the high leverage situations. Omarion Hampton, too, he can break it. This is not a Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet situation that Hampton will go back to. It will just be, hey, even if Omarion Hampton doesn't take it from the 40 or the 30, he will still get those goal line touches. If he's down at the 3, it's still going to be Omarion Hampton. That's what we're rooting and optimistic for. So it's not a situation where we really have to worry about some disgusting RBBC. So love that. I'm in lockstep with you. We are IR hunting for Omarion Hampton and Joe Burrow, and you love to see it. Go out and buy for these prices. Now, if you're stuck and you're not contending and you're on rebuilds and you're feeling like your redraft teams are kind of stagnant, let's check out what Fast Draft has for us.
Pour one out for an incredible best ball season. It was a breakout 2025 for Fast Draft, but now the NFL action has started. That means it's DFS season. That's right. You might think, oh, wow, DFS, I can't win DFS. Oh, but you can on Fast Draft. You just pick any 6 guys and you put them in a handful of booster spots. There's no salary rubric you have to follow. You're not going up against thousands of killer bots in these tournaments. Oh, no. These are regular people grabbing their 6 favorite plays of the week, and that's all you have to do. And we post the ownership so that you can choose how much chalk you want. There is no drafting. It's called the Quick 6 Super Slam. The Quick 6 Super Slam is the signature DFS contest at Fast Draft. It is changing DFS. We are making DFS great again. So go to fastdraft.app and use your host promo code for a $50 deposit match, and let's go start drafting faster.
There you have it from the Podfather. Go out and get on Fast Draft. So much fun. And in the offseason, you've got the Rookie Origins tournament that'll drop, and you have all the great best ball just getting started. A whole ton of platform fun there for Fast Draft. Now let's go IR hunting. There's IR hunting in the immediate future with Burrow and Omarion Hampton. Now we're looking at Malik Nabers. You're going to have to wait on this one a little bit, but let's just remind you of the goodness. If it's been so long, people tend to have shorter memories and they like to slide players down in Dynasty, and that creates a buying opportunity. Here is Malik Nabers last year, second in targets, 170. This is a guy who could push up towards 200 if he were to play all 17 games. Number 1 in target share, 3rd in air yards share, 4th in air yards, a lot of 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s for Malik Nabers all of last year. And we had that cruel twist of fate. Jackson Dart comes in the immediate first game, tears his ACL. So it's just such torture. But looking at some of these prices, I see, we want to acquire Malik Nabers, but I'm sitting here seeing this deal where it's a 26-1, 27-1, 28 round 1, 3 firsts, that old adage. Chev, you were just pushed right up against it. Malik Nabers or straight up 3 firsts. What side do you like? 2 quarterback, 12 team, start 9, full PPR, 0.5 tight end premium.
My only issue is that you would want this capital. Now you're going to get 3 separate cracks at the, 3 separate at bats here. So I would want some of this capital to be consolidated into one class or the other, preferably the 27 class. Like, I know we can't really predict, but like those guys are good. They're going to be good. And unless something drastic happens, but so that's the only thing. But yeah, anytime that you're giving up 3 first-round picks for not a quarterback, not a QB1, it feels expensive, but also Malik Nabers, he had the 3rd best points per game season for a rookie of all time. And he just set the targets record, the receptions record for wide receivers, for rookies. And it was in one of the most putrid environments possible. So we could get some, we could keep the volume and increase the efficiency. And you're looking at a JSN, Malik Nabers type of thing. I mean, JSN or Puka Nacua type thing, or Jamar Chase. That's the level of talent that he is. So this is the appropriate price. You're getting 3 cracks, hopefully at least that 26-1 is very early. Context is key here. We don't have that information.
Yep.
Hopefully that 26-1 is really early. And, you took it from a team that, couldn't find their head from a hole in the ground when they were drafting. But this is appropriate price. It's just I feel like you need to be a little bit more strategic with the assortment of the picks, just so you could take more cracks and at bats at it in a class where that those guys, like there's omega level talents like a Malik Nabers littered across that 27 class, whereas the 26 class, in my opinion, is a little bit more shallow. You're going to want to load up on seconds, thirds in that 27 class so that we have, you have opportunities to replicate or at least get like to 60, 70, 80% of Malik Nabers production. And you do that 3 times, and now you've come out ahead of just having Malik Nabers, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And part of the price, sometimes what's not accounted for in the price, you're getting 3 first rounds in a row, 3 consecutive years, not accounting for it. And it shouldn't go into the trade per se, because you're trying to get the right value, 1 for 1, 2 for 1, whatever the assets are that are trading. You want somewhere to be even. Of course, you want the bigger half of the trade. You want the better outcome. You want to win the trade. But granted, we all know a healthy trade economy helps both teams. That's all you're looking for. But into the account is how much draft capital do you already have? If you have all in your full and whole with your 26, 27, 28, your own draft picks, your own round ones, your own round twos, there is something massively appealing about saying, man, the next 3 years, I will have 2 first round picks. I'll get 6 overall in the next 3 years. And you have the, ready for it, fungibility of being able to trade in and out with those multiples. And I love doing this plenty. If I have multiple of a round, and let's say it could even be a second round pick, I've got 2 of them. Guess what? I'm trading away as much as I can because I'm contending, because I'm the better team or one of the better teams in the league. I'm trading away the other person's second round pick for something because, sorry, I'm going to trade mine away because mine's going to be a later pick. And I want to keep the earlier pick that somebody else is going to have because of what I've acquired. So it's one of those bird in hand things that I think you have to just be aware of. And to your point, what can you do after you get out of the Malik Nabers business? You have to have fungibility to know that those 6 first round picks that you collectively hopefully have, you're going to make something out of that. That's so much better than what could be bearing on one ankle or ACL of Malik Nabers. Now going over to the Judkins Rice for Nabers, Dart, AJ Brown, and Chase Brown. Superflex, this is best ball. It's a delineation there. 12 teams, start 9, full PPR. I really like the Malik Nabers side because you're getting the Dart Nabers stack. You're getting one of the hottest assets in Superflex in Jackson Dart. The fall off from Rice to Brown, I think you get enough Brown that pulls into Rice's production to where it can be valuable. And I think Chase Brown, with the retrieval of Joe Burrow in our IR hunting exercise here, we spoke earlier to, Chase Brown, especially in the PPR, 0.5, or it is full PPR, he can get enough into Quinshon Judkins' production. So give me that side with Nabers, Dart, Brown, Chase Brown. What side do you like on that? Do you go Judkins, Rice, or do you like that right side?
I like the right side. Just it makes sense for both deals, right? Like if I actually, the AJ Brown part of that just makes me feel gross, even though we believe it can turn around. AJ Brown basically been 16, 17 points a game. And there's something going on with their offense right now to where he's going on streams and, saying drop me in fantasy or whatever. So the price point on AJ Brown's never been lower. If it's best ball, if I'm a contender and I could send, Malik, I don't love sending Jackson Dart though, because we argued about this on a different show a few weeks ago, I believe, about Jackson Dart being one of those elite fantasy options at the quarterback position. And I think we have to kind of get on board with that at this point. So I'm on the Malik Nabers, Jackson Dart, Chase Brown side, just because I think that combination of players could net you more in your lineup, in 2026 than Quinshon Judkins and Rashee Rice. But both of those guys are ascending talents who aren't being properly valued either. Rashee Rice being probably the next guy that's going to ascend into the Drake London, the second tier of elite wide receivers, if you will, potentially even the first, because he, he's a cornerstone dynasty asset, right? So, so we're talking about Quinshon Judkins. I feel like he's going to get better. They're not going to bring in any competition. So I feel like you hit the nail on the head when you said, hey, this is an environment where a healthy trade environment helps both teams, and this could help both teams tremendously. It's just a matter of preference here. I just leaned on the side where I get the quarterback.
Yeah, and also I think what really puts it over the top is that it's best ball. You're not setting the lineup. You're not worried about those low AJ Brown weeks, and same thing with Chase Brown. So I think you just take that bottled up upside in the 2-for-2 Judkins, Rice. You take Nabers and Dart, and then everything else is gravy added with AJ Brown, Chase Brown, because what gets benched still gets plugged into a lineup in a managed league, 9, 10, 15 points, or you bench 20 points. Guess what? In best ball, that shows up for you error free. So love these takes at Burrow, Hampton, Nabers. Go out and IR hunt. Coach and Chev, we will see you next week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.